All right, good morning, everybody. Okay, so everybody can see here we got, so welcome to Sunday, May 3rd. Okay, we got a good recovery session in store for you here. The focus of today's session is going to be trying to solve a little bit of that overhead position, because we had a big overhead week for pressing, overhead squats, etc. And then also going to address some of the hip, and namely the posterior as that glute rides into the top of the ilium, some of the SI area, lower lumbar, and then we'll kind of maybe address everything in between as well. So for tools, for what you guys have, obviously just always bring everything you have. If you can grab something like a dowel, a lacrosse stick, a hockey stick, a broomstick, something all will work well. If you do not have something exactly, and it's fine. This is just going to help us leverage to get that position that we're looking to get into while we start to manipulate some of the tissue. Okay. Always, again, have your grids handy, and if you guys haven't made one of these yet, go ahead and tape yourself up a couple lacrosse balls, and we'll use that as well. Okay. So that's pretty much all I'm going to be tackling today. Let's start with the hips. Now, something else you want to grab is a chair or something that you can basically lie on your back and be rested heels about here, okay? So I'm going to pull a bench out when I get to that point. So just maybe grab a chair and get handy there. So grab that while I think of it, so it's at least in my vicinity. So we'll be using that for a couple things here as well. Okay. So to start, let's get going here. We'll go soft roll here of the with the grid on the quads. So we'll hit 3 lines. We'll spend about 45 seconds a line, and so we'll be a little bit quicker there. And then we're going to hit it with something a little deeper. So if you don't have the peanut, just use single lacrosse ball. Either will work. I want to start my clock. So we have a ballpark, eagle eye, timer in the works there. Okay, so let's get started here. Simple quad roll. We'll start with the VMO, so just inside the knee. Open the hip, just on the forearms there. Just kind of slowly rocking. And again, just take it easy, travel where it's a little uncomfortable. Legs got definitely banged up yesterday for me. I'm not sure if anybody else did yesterday's workout, but my legs were quivering there in the bear crawls. So this will help solve some of that quiver. Going up the stairs after was fun. All right, about 10 more seconds here, and then we'll work up to that midline. Perfect. So again, back down to the knee, going on the center line of the quads. Relax that foot. Nice, easy breathing. Just kind of work that whole line if you can, from knee up to the hip. And just relax on that grid. The more relaxed, the better. Good. All right, let's go back up here. Last one. Getting the outside there, the vastus lateralis there. This is the most challenging one usually for most people. The most uncomfortable, so just take your time there, and if you have a couple good spots, you can spend most of your time on those. Or if the whole thing is just knocked up there, just kind of give it a nice even pass and just try and soften it up a bit. Remember to breathe. Don't hold your breath, and try and bypass the agony that is some of the soft tissue work we're hitting today. All right, about 10 more seconds. Grid's making crunchy noises. All right, so we'll stop there. Let's go to the other side. Same thing. Start with that inside of the quad. Might even feel a good stretch up here into the some of the abdominals there. So try and just open up that whole line on the anterior trunk there. Soften up some of that fascia. Good. Just small little toggles, like an inch, 2 inch, and it'll kind of present itself. All right, let's bump it up here to the neutral, the center line of the quads. And again, just kind of play with that, that kind of body position. Play on the hands, on the elbows, down, whatever it is that you find kind of presents the most appropriate release for you and position. Okay, let's knock it up here. Last one on the outside. Okay, most tender, that vastus lateralis. Trying to let that IT band track back where it's supposed to. We're also going to hit the posterior part of that hamstring there, where it attaches on the lateral aspect of that IT band as well. So we'll add a little novel manipulation here. Okay. Beauty. Awesome. Okay, let's grab that double lacrosse ball now. Okay, so we're going to go a little bit more aggressive here. So what I want to start with here in this one is we're just going to go the 0 line and the lateral 45. We're not going to do the teardrop with VMO, so we're not going to do that inside 45. So we're going to get a little more aggressive today with this guy. If you don't have a peanut, go ahead and use yourself just a single lacrosse ball, which is going to probably suck even more, but that's okay. By the time you're done, it's going to feel amazing. So we'll go back to that first leg. Just going to reposition myself here. Okay, just above the knee. Same thing. We'll spend about 30 seconds here. 45 seconds. Just trying to soften that guy up. So you will be able to get a little bit deeper. You find one that really stands out for you, just go ahead and hang out there. And on this one, you find a tender spot. What I want you to do is do a couple knee bends. Okay, try and bring your heel to your butt cheek. Okay? Make sure you keep breathing on that. Good. About 10 more seconds here. Good, so same thing here. We're gonna go to that lateral line. Okay, more aggressive. Okay, just breathe through it. Find the, again, support that's good for you. And again, find an area that's really tender. Go ahead and add some of those knee bends. Just focus on that breathing. This will start to also solve some of that potential low back tightness. Good. Okay, let's go to the other side. Same thing. Okay, we'll start on the 0 line. Make sure you try and find us a couple of spots there and toss some of those knee bends in. And again, there's no specific anatomical position that you want to stop and perform those at. Basically, it's a feel thing. So when you're like, oh, something presents itself, go ahead and perform those knee bends at that point, because that's the area that's that we can probably affect some change in there, in some of those tissues there. Again, focus on that breathing. Don't hold your breath. Don't tense up. Try and stay relaxed. Okay. All right, and then to the lateral 45 on that second leg. Okay, last one here. Good. Job. All right, and stop there. All right, next one we're gonna do here. So you're gonna take a single lacrosse ball, okay, on this one. And this is where I want you guys to have a bench to be able to sit on. So the goal here on this one is, okay, so we have that lateral, okay, IT band from hip outside of knee. And basically now we just hit that lateral 45 in the quad. We want to now kind of go even past that point now, just behind the IT band. So IT band runs, and now we're going to work this lateral line on the outside. So for this one, we're just going to sit on the bench, okay? And you're going to have to like angle yourself just slightly on the outside of the knee. So don't have that leg vertical. We're going to kind of open up that leg, okay? Just inside. We're just going to kind of toggle on it, working up on the outside now, 45. So this will be another tender one, okay? So basically what I'm trying to do, I'll support myself on the bench. You can get a little leverage there. And if you want a little extra pressure, you can just kind of guide with the other arm to get to the desired pressure you can handle. We're just going to kind of work up that lateral line. You know, reposition. Again, you don't need a bench. It can be a chair. It can be anything. Preferably something more rigid is better. So bench has got a little softness to it. Okay, plyo box would be really good as well. So just kind of keep working up that lateral line all the way up, and it's a pretty distinct sensation there. So it should be uncomfortable. Maybe not quite as uncomfortable as that vastus lateralis, but it should still present itself quite easily. Good. Okay. We're going to go switch to the other side now. Same thing. Okay. There's that lateral angle. We're just going to go just posterior that just a little bit. Okay. On the outside, just kind of cruise up. Good. Keep breathing. Focus on that breathing throughout. There we go. Good job, guys. Almost there. Okay, be good there. All right, next one. You guys to grab your grid, okay, and keep that lacrosse ball handy. So we're gonna go from here to the floor, okay. We're gonna soften the glutes up just a little bit, okay. Okay, so we're just gonna soften up these glutes just a little bit. So we're gonna have the hip, okay, angled, so we're leaning on one side. So for example, I'm under the right hip, I got right arm back. I'm gonna take my right leg, cross it over, and have left arm on top. So the idea is to find the fulcrum point in the glute so that that's receiving the most amount of pressure. We're just gonna hang out here, toggle from the sit bone, okay, all the way up the back of the glute, to the top of that iliac crest there, to the low back. You'll feel the sensation shift where you lose it and it doesn't really feel like anything, and that's that top of that crest. So we'll go to that point. And once you're there, we'll come back to where you started. Okay, so from here, I'm going to get you to tilt the knee to the floor. So you open up your chest in the direction the knee is tilting down to. And that's going to get us a little bit more on the outside, a little more tender. Okay, and if you can separate and kind of open up that knee, okay, you'll feel a little bit more pressure you can generate there, and hopefully expose some of that discomfort and get that tissue back to a healthy state there. Good. Okay, so good on that one. Let's do the same thing, other side. Okay, so from that side here, so sitting on the grid, so I'm going left hand back, left glute on the center of the grid, crossing that left leg over, just kind of slowly toggling. Okay, and as we get down, you can kind of extend, create some extra pressure there in the position. Okay, go all the way up the top there, we're back to where we started. Tilt that knee down to the floor a little bit more, open up the side. Good. Awesome. Okay, so from there, let's go ahead and grab our lacrosse ball. We're going to do the same thing, okay? We're kind of going to toggle here. We're just not going to do a knee cross on this one. So I'm going to go back to ball underneath the right side, okay? I'm leaning to the side the ball is on. I'm trying to get as much weight on the ball as I can, okay? Doing some searching, trying to find some tender tissues. Once you get something that jumps out at you, what I want you to do today is I want you to open the knee to the floor and then come back off it for 4. Okay? Good. Okay, go ahead and keep doing some searching there. Find another spot. Once you find it, again, 4 of those knee bends down to the floor. Let's go one more location here. Okay, so find one more spot. I'm going to go down to the elbow, get a little more of the outside. Once you get it, just push that knee up, external, rotate that hip down. Good. Okay, let's switch sides, same thing. Other side. Lean now to that new hip that you're supported on. Do some searching, find something, perform those external rotations at the hip. Do some searching, find something else. As soon as you get it, you're gonna get those knee bends down. I'm gonna go down on the elbow for the last one, get a little more of the outside. Did you get it there? Same thing. 4 knee bends or external rotations at the hip. Good. Okay. So now we're going to do this. We're going to need our bench or chair or something we can leverage the feet up onto again. So basically, with this guy, if you think about, okay, your waistline, okay, the top bony part of the hip, okay, and you kind of travel back, we basically want to get on the top side of that glute. So we don't want to be down low. So when you're on your back, you'll figure that out pretty quickly, okay? So just be supported, and then from here, okay, we can't obviously put the ball on the sit bone. We're putting it below that, okay, dimple in the back of your butt there, okay, the posterior superior iliac crest. And we're just going to try and toggle at all the meat points where it kind of comes to that SI area. So I'm subtly leaned over, but get a little higher on that glute tissue, okay? You can take your knee now, we can cross it over and kind of just subtly lean on that side. Support yourself as best you can, kind of do some searching. Start to soften up that low back. This really helps also solve some of that low back tension you might be feeling at the top of the iliac crest. Okay, let's go ahead and switch sides. So I'm going over my left side here. Okay. Pretty high up on that glute. Let's do some searching. Edge of that sacrum. Up to the SI, just below, kind of all around that area where it connects. So you don't want to be rolling on bone per se, not that it's going to damage you, it's just we're trying to get all the areas of tissue that might be angry from all the hip damage we did this week. Okay. And we're going to progress again by crossing that foot over. Get a little more leverage. Again, the key as we add these is to still be relaxed. So find the positions where you can be as relaxed on that ball as possible. We're still moving and manipulating that tissue. Good. Awesome job. Okay. So we're going to stay right here on the bench. Okay. We're going to do a little stretch. So first one we're going to do here on our backs, okay, is we're going to take the leg crossed over. We're going to basically lip up against the edge. So the further we bring the knee up, okay, and our tib fib closer to, the more stretch we're going to feel in that lateral line, okay? Keep the leg. So for example, I have my right leg crossed over. Make sure we're not pointing the toe. Kind of keep that toe flexed up. We're just going to hold right here, find an area to stretch. Now, to increase this stretch, you can slowly apply pressure by pushing that knee away from you. Okay? We're going to go for 2 minutes aside here on this guy. So we'll start that clock at 22:30 here. Okay, the 24/30s, try and keep pushing. Now, we're mixing in between here some of our pre and regen. So this is a regen tactic, so just to review, no numbness, tingling, or sharp pain. General tightness, discomfort is good. Okay, keep breathing, don't hold your breath. Okay, and again, we hold this for longer than that 10 to 30 second range, which is that usually a stretch prescribed time for damaged tissue. Okay, so we're taking for granted that you guys have maybe some banged up tissue, but still healthy. So we're trying to open up and solve some of these tight spots. Something else when you're in this position, try not to push your low back into the floor. Try and almost have it neutral. If anything, arch slightly behind and you'll feel that increased tension here throughout that glute piriformis. That's a good one. Good job. About 40 seconds left here. Start to feel this thing opening up a little bit. "15 seconds. Yeah, there we go. Make sure we get that release. All right, straighten that leg. Just move it around a little bit. Get the blood back in there. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to cross that leg over. Okay. You might notice you're tighter on one side than the other. That's okay. To progress this, we just move our trunk closer to the bench. Find area that's good for you. We'll go ahead and get started here at the 25-minute time mark. Go for 2 minutes to 27. Same thing. Keep that toe. Don't try and avoid pointing it. Keep it dorsiflex there. So I just push that knee away from you. Keep your back flat, or try and maybe arch slightly off the ground to increase that stretch, but try not to round your low back into the floor, lifting your lower pelvis off the floor. Good. Again, as you should notice that starts to open up, and as it does, push that position just slightly until you feel that next wall, okay, where is appropriate for you, or you feel getting that desired amount of stretch, and just breathe and hold that new spot. Got about 30 seconds left here. So again, if you are a low back tension person, this might be one after our session if you want to repeat it a couple times. Good. Straighten that leg. Good. Okay, next one we're going to do here. So you want to grab our double lacrosse ball and our grid, okay? So what we're going to do here is we're going to start working up the paraspinals here. So we're going to start just at that lower lumbar, okay? Above the iliac crest there, right where the vertebrae start, okay? The free-floating lumbars. And we'll start there. So center that lacrosse ball. I'm just going to tuck my shirt in, okay? We're going to keep the feet on the bench today to get a little flexion through the hips as we manipulate, okay? We're just going to hang out here and kind of can toggle. Just kind of slowly, basically working our bodies this way, so the ball works this way. Every once in a while, we're gonna have to readjust, okay, the ball, otherwise, because we're gonna run a real estate. Something else that I like to do is to take my hands and give myself some light traction. Okay, so if I kind of take my hands into the hip creases here at the front, and I just kind of create a little push, okay, open up some of the spaces there, and then toggle from there. Helps get this a little bit deeper. So it's going to kind of slowly keep working up the vertebrae. Now, if you find a really good spot, okay, on one side or the other, or both, okay, so right now I had a spot that kind of presented itself on my right side. I'm going to take my right knee, and I'm actually going to hug it, okay, and then toggle. Just trying to soften that up even more. That's good. Okay, and then we'll keep moving up. And again, all the roller's doing for my head is just helping me perform that roll and that glide a little bit better. The focused area obviously is that point with the peanuts making contact there with the back. All right, so I'm going to adjust here away from the bench here again. Put the ball back where it was. And I'm going to continue, again, working up the back. Once we get to mid-back here, okay, so we're getting off that lumbar to thoracic, the mid-back area, we're going to grab our dowel, locate that, have it handy. We're going to start to work that overhead position now while we're at that T-spine. So we're at the T-spine area, okay? We're just going to take the dowel. Now you can do a couple things. You can go narrow, you can go wider, you can go inverted, okay? So supination, okay, and grabbing. Whatever position it is that you find an appropriate stretch. We're just going to hang out there as we're rolling through the mid-back. So just relax. Keep rolling. Keep breathing. Don't brace. Okay, once we get up to, okay, just below the shoulder blades, you can take the roller out at any point, okay? Just keep working up. Same idea there as we did when we had the ball at the back, the glute. Basically try and tuck your tailbone this direction. Okay, so we push that low back in. It's going to get some more pressure. And that goal in our overhead position is to not have the elbows flying out. We want to externally rotate the shoulders so those elbows kind of come forward. Armpits come forward. We don't want them to open up this direction. Okay? I'm just going to adjust. Last adjustment here. Away from the bench. Continuing on where it was. There we go. Just arching over that ball. Just keep breathing. Every once in a while, try and tuck that tailbone down. You might even get a free adjustment there. And you'll feel that sensation change as we work up between the shoulder blades. Just try and relax and let yourself sink into that position. that thing might, the peanut might get rolled up in the shirt once in a while. That's okay. Just adjust if you need to. If you're still getting it, then just continue on. Good. Okay, once we've done that, you pop off the bench. And now we're going to progress, okay, to work some of our lateral lines. So we're going to start with the grid, okay, and we'll get more aggressive. Okay, so we're going to start with this guy. We basically want to work that lat, okay, working the lat all the way up the lateral line. So we don't want to be over the armpit, okay, or the front. We want to work all the way that lateral line, and we're going to take our dowels on this one now, okay, and we're going to basically put our arm in extension, okay, overhead and play with that position. So we take the bottom hand to help push it into that new corner, okay? So we'll start here on the side, on that lat, okay? Palm open, supine position. You can go hand on top or here. I'm gonna go like this for now. I'm just gonna slowly find an area of support, and then my goal is to push that arm back into the overhead as I slowly move my body this direction so the roller moves up, okay, that lat. And just hang on, find some spots, find and travel with that line that's tender, okay? So you can kind of close yourself towards the floor or open yourself up slightly, okay? You do what's right for you and feel that point of tenderness and just follow that area of discomfort, breathe through it. Keep pushing that arm back into that overhead position. And as we work up, you'll see and feel that sensation shift slightly, and that's okay. Just kind of follow again that line of discomfort. And if you get to the end of it, just work around a little bit and then find a new one. So I got quite a bit of stretch going on here, as well as a good amount of pressure. Okay. I find as I get further up, closer to the shoulder, I have to rock backwards. Okay. Open myself up more. And then get to that deltoid there up in the shoulder. You might even feel some deep lat in there too, which is good. Just keep pushing that arm into a good overhead position. Just follow that line of tissue tenderness. You'll see me move my legs a lot. I'm doing that just to leverage some support. Good. All right. Beautiful. Okay, let's do the same thing. Other side. Okay, so start that lat. Open up. Okay. What's that, buddy?
Yep.
Yeah, so let's go right here.
Okay.
Kind of see, and then kind of get a good angle of what's going on. So again, with the arm that we're trying to affect change, we don't want to be internally rotated. We want to open up. Okay, so externally rotate, extend. That's our overhead position that we're trying to improve. Okay, helping with our overhead squats, overhead presses. Good. We've done a lot of pull-ups this weekend, or this week. So this is gonna definitely get in there and help get those tissues back so we can rock and roll for a good week here coming up. And again, you find that line by opening up or closing, okay? And you'll notice that it might be subtly different on one side compared to the other. Good. Again, I'm taking this bottom arm and I'm pushing to kind of get that best position I can get in that overhead. Breathing, relaxing, following that area of tenderness as it shifts, kind of playing with that open and closing. Good. Good job, guys. Finish off with that posterior deltoid there. Beauty. All right. So end on that guy right there. Okay. So now we're going to take our lacrosse ball, and we're going to go into the pec minor. Okay. Wait for time here. How we looking? Looking good. Okay. So we're going to take lacrosse ball into that pec minor. Now we're going to use the dowel today. Okay. To help leverage and get a little bit more open shoulder on that guy. Okay. So cross ball down. Okay, if it's on left side, I'm getting that left ear to the floor, taking left hand, okay, working it behind my back. I'm going to grab, okay, the dowel with my hand. I'm going to take it with the other one, and I'm pulling it across the body and also up as it releases. So try and find that area of tenderness, and then once you're there, get some tension on it, and then do some hammer and soften that knotty tissue up. Again, travel where there's that level of discomfort. Okay? Pain's a good thing. It tells us kind of how we're handling the position, the toggling. We don't want any electrical sensations that are causing pain. That would be hitting the nerves. We don't want to do that. We do want to find those areas that just overall suck. Just try and relax and slowly pull that arm across further as you can as it softens up. And you'll notice as you go further, you might lose that discomfort in one area. That's good. It's a bit of tissue releasing. And then something else presenting itself, which is perfect. So then go there. Feel discomfort in a slightly different area, travel to that spot. Start doing some work on that one. Good. All right, let's switch to the other side. Well done. Other side here, so we'll go down on the right. Go right hand behind the back. Grab the dowel. And then, again, you find the area that works for you. Getting that pressure behind. Good job. You got for wall space right there. Perfect. Awesome. Okay. So let's get even more fine-tuned, more aggressive here. So we're going to take that lacrosse ball and we're going to kind of now if you kind of think to a few of those spots on the lat, in that lateral line that we've done, okay? We're going to take this guy. Now, we've done this in past weeks, okay? Just posterior line of the armpit, okay? You want to find some tender areas, and once you find it now we're going to use that dowel again to try and push ourselves into that overhead position, so get even more aggressive, isolate points of tenderness even more, okay? Find something that really jumps out at you, and then basically we're going to try and push into that with that dowel, try and improve that position of that arm overhead. Palm is up, and just follow where those lines of tension kind of present, and then just work through it with some cross friction or rolling in line with the tissue. All the while breathing, just slowly improving that overhead by pushing a little bit further. Good job, guys. This is going to be pretty dirty if you get the right spot. Good. And again, you just follow the lines of tenderness there, okay? Something else softens up, cruise around, something else tension-wise will jump out, so go there and hammer that area. And then that area softens up, just kind of keep traveling. And follow that whole line, whatever's causing you, okay, restriction there. You'll push to a point there and you feel tension somewhere. Do some searching. Perfect. All right, let's call that one there. Okay, so now what I want you to do, so instead of going from that overhead position, this last one we're going to do here on this side, we're going to bring our elbow closer down to our side and then kind of grab that dowel, and we're going to find that area in the back, and then we're going to apply some pressure down, okay, an external rotation as we find a spot. Okay, so just trying to progressively work. Okay, and if you can get down, you're ahead of the game there. Most people feel this tension, so this is going to help us with our pressing overhead, our front rack position, and our front squats, getting that bar more comfortable. So find a spot, like when you push, you feel tension, and then place that across ball and do some searching right there, and then watch it slowly open up towards the floor. Good job. Look at that, I'm already down on the floor. Beauty. Awesome. Okay, so let's go other side. Same thing. We'll go same thing here. Lateral line. Start with that overhead position. Okay. Keep the hand open. Okay, so we don't want to be closing that hand down. Open it. Do some searching. And just find that line or a line of tenderness there and just kind of follow it as we push that arm in a better overhead spot. All the while breathing. Again, play with your legs. Sometimes having hips open or hips closed, okay? You'll feel that you can open up a new area of tension by just kind of manipulating the body, lower body a little bit too. Also giving yourself a better base of support to get more pressure overhead. Good. Okay, so the same thing here. Find that area of tension there. So we're gonna put that arm at 90. We're gonna start to externally rotate. Something's gonna present itself in terms of restriction. Find where that place is with the ball. Apply some topward pressure there as we hammer. Try and open up further and further. Okay. Good job. Okay, good. Okay, so next what we're going to do here, we're going to kind of progress that a little bit further. So Nate, if you want to come over this side. Okay, so we're going to use our dowel again, or broomstick or lacrosse stick, whatever you have access to. And the goal is, so we're going to lean on the chair, and we want to progressively work the hands narrow to wide while keeping our elbows close together. Okay, so a way to work with that is to open up this direction, get longer, and then when we come back together, you'll feel that increase. Now, using the chair or bench or couch or whatever you have access to is going to help you kind of anchor those elbows in, okay? So it's gonna look like this. You wanna come over here, Nate, you can probably see a little bit better. Push those elbows together. We're gonna get those hands as wide as we can, okay? So when we come back, we're even gonna feel a stretch right there. We're gonna sink ourselves behind, okay? So kind of pushing our head behind the bench and through, and we can play by, again, keeping pressure down on the elbows, and then just slowly opening up, okay, and extending through the elbow, and you'll feel a stretch on the outside area of those armpits, right where we were hammering, okay, just before this. Okay, and you find the line. Goal is to kind of sink lower and lower as we open up. Every once in a while, you can do a little elbow shift, get closer, widen the hands until you find a spot that's good for you. Okay, just kind of slowly poking that head down. Playing with the head push down and elbow extension. Breathe and try and sink in deeper to it. Job, guys. Let's go one more time. Just to switch the elbows. Go a little wider if you can. Okay. Push down, head through. Breathing. Good. Awesome. So come up there. And if you want to try and do a little test, retest, okay? So you guys can, we did a lot of overhead work today, or this week. So go ahead and extend yourself up, and you can start to hopefully feel yourself opening into a better position, okay? And the goal is, again, to keep those armpits forward, locked out. We don't want the elbow twisted back, okay? So we want to have that armpit facing forward, elbow kind of like coiling ourselves up in the shoulder, okay? As we try and break the bar this way, okay? So overhead, trying to break that bar. See how that feels. Overhead, perfect, okay? Awesome. Okay, so last one we got here to finish off today is I wanted to hit the hip flexor stretch again, kind of solve some of those hips. So how are we for time? We got 3 minutes left here. So we'll go a touch over. We'll go 2 minutes aside, okay? So 2 minutes aside. You're gonna find whatever you can that's comfortable for the knee. Could be a shirt, could be a pillow. I'm gonna use a Bosu. Okay, I'm gonna place my knee on the Bosu, sit nice and long, okay? And just basically pushing those hips forward, okay? Just a slow push of the hips forward. Good. Just breathe, make sure we're supporting ourselves, bracing the lower abdominals so we're not hyperextending that low back. Okay. You can play with the angle. If you want to get a little bit more in the groin, you can open up this direction. You want to go straight up and into your hip and kind of squeak forward more. Just play with it. And again, try and be as relaxed as you can be around this. So this will be the last one of the day here. Good job, guys. But 1 more minute to go. And this is a good one you can hold for up to like 10 minutes aside if you want to. Take it further. We're going to finish off with 2 minutes aside. Again, no numbness, tingling, or sharp pain. Exit if you feel some of those. Don't push into that sharpness. Back out slowly. Shake it out and then kind of re-enter very gradually. Good. About 20 seconds to go here. All right, slowly exit. Okay, stand up, just kind of let the blood come back in. I'm going to switch the Bosu to the other side. We'll do the same thing. Okay, knee on top, find that desired line, pressure. Just make sure the front support leg foot is neutral also, so we don't want to get in the habit of like having the toe turned out. Keep that foot neutral. If you want to keep it neutral and push the knee outside, that's fine. Good. Again, breathing, kind of sinking deeper into that tension. No numbness, tingling, sharp pain. Great piece of advice. If something feels sketchy, it is sketchy. Kelly Starrett. Oh, I like that one. Be in tune to the body. It will steer you on the right course of action. Listen to it. About 1 more minute to go here, guys. Good job. We're going to keep that lower abdominals braced so we don't feel, you should feel no low back pressure with this, okay? If you do increase that, that pressure in the lower abdominal, that will help support the low back. We want to feel no pressure there. Good job. Okay, slowly exit out. Go for a little walk. Okay, shake it out. Let the blood kind of come back in that area. If we kind of, in those stretches, we're kind of wringing out the blood from that tissue. Just give it a second to kind of flow back in, open up, and you should feel definitely better. Okay, guys, so we're going to end on that one today. So make sure you guys get lots of fluids in you today as we've opened that stuff up. A great one there, kind of hoping to improve some of that overhead position and restore some of the extension of the hips there. Really pumped that you guys were able to jump in and join with us today. Thanks, Nady Gray, for making me look good. Zoom, not so much. Guys, have a great morning. We will see you bright and early 8 o'clock tomorrow with Kendra and WLG crew. Thanks, guys.